In honor of turning 27, I wanted to share 27 lessons that I've learned in my life. Number one is that the universe rewards loud people. This was a hard lesson for me to learn because I always thought growing up in an Asian culture that being quiet and taking what people gave you is what is expected of you. But I think the longer that I've lived in America, the more that I've realized that speaking up and saying what you actually want is what gets you what you want. So don't be afraid to ask. Number two, if you want a community, you're gonna have to build it. This is a hard lesson that I learned post-graduate. I moved away from the city where I went to college, and I don't even live in a city anymore. I live in the suburbs, and I realized that it is very hard to make friends. It is very hard to keep in touch with people, but that is your responsibility to do that if that's what you're looking for. Number three is that nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. The way I like to think about it is you are the main character of your life, but you're not the main character of anybody else's life. So if you have this feeling that people are talking bad about you, I feel like you should just let it go, because chances are they're not even thinking about the things that you're thinking about. You might have messed up while playing a game and you're still thinking about it 2 hours later. You said something funny during a conversation and you're like, oh my god, that person must still be thinking that about me. They're probably not, because nobody thinks about you as much as you do. Number four, time spent doing something that you love is not time wasted. I think this was really hard for me because I had grown up in an environment where doing more meant that you were more successful. So I had a lot of time settling down. I had to always be doing something or else I just felt like I was being unproductive. And then I had a phone call with my brother and he was like, Serena, if you're doing something that you like, you're not wasting your time. Number five, don't let people take away your power. Make the decisions yourself. I have been in so many situations where I felt like I could no longer make the decisions that I wanted in my life because those decisions were just too hard for me. I basically gave away my power and I felt helpless in so many situations where I wasn't actually helpless. I had a choice, and maybe that choice was to leave, but that was just too hard for me. So I stayed in so many long relationships that I should have left earlier. Number six, you either face your fears or you let them control your life. I think this is a really interesting concept because there's a lot of things in my life that I don't do because I'm too scared to do them, but those things are the biggest barriers in my life because I'm scared of them. I've come to realize that you have to face your fears in order to achieve the things that you want to. Otherwise, you're just going to be scared for the rest of your life. Number seven, negativity in your life is going to bleed into other parts of your life. What I mean by this is if something is going on in your life that is making you extremely unhappy, you're probably not showing up in the way that you want in other parts of your life. For example, if you're really unhappy in a friendship that you have, it's possible that you're not showing up in your relationship because you're too busy feeling bad about your other friendship. If something is hurting you, learn to let it go. Number eight, everybody is going through something. And maybe everybody's pain is different from yours, but based off of my experience in life, the more that I've talked with people, the more I realize that everybody has something going on that they're focused on, and that seems to be just how life is. Number nine is how you were raised doesn't have to be how you live your life now. I know it's so easy to think like, oh, I was raised this way, so I should continue to act this way, but you can make your own decisions as an adult and choose to live the life that you want based off of your own decisions. So don't let your past decide your future. Number 10 is that it's okay to feel lonely. I feel lonely all the time. I think I'm really used to having people around me, and being an adult in a city where I don't really know that well, it's the first time that I had to really learn to be alone. And it's okay to be lonely and reach out to your friends, but I think it's also important to sit down and realize that like your life is yours alone, and there's not really anybody who can sit by you every second of your life except for you. Number 11 is that saying no is just as important as saying yes. I know that we often talk about saying yes to a lot of things because it gives you many chances for opportunities and doing things, but I also think it's important to draw your boundaries to say no sometimes when it's not the right decision for you. Number 12 is to show the people in your life that you care about them. I think it's easy to get caught up in life and sort of forget to share your love with people who are actually important to you. but I think it's so important to make sure that everybody in your life knows why they're in your life and how much you love them. I think it's the kind of thing that makes you feel closer with people and helps you build a community. Number 13 is that making friends after college is hard. You no longer have the easy access that you had when you were in college. Like, you can't just hit up every single person by spending time with them every single day to go study or like knocking on their door, because sometimes you just don't have that much access anymore. I think adult friendships require a lot of intention, which is not something that I really had when I was in college. So that's definitely a tough lesson that I learned. Number 14 is people will judge you no matter what, so do what makes you happy. You know, there's always going to be people who don't like what you do or think what you're doing is stupid, but I think what's most important is that you remember that it's your life and you're doing something that fulfills you. Number 15 is sleep is a performance enhancer. And I used to be one of those kids that was like, I don't need sleep, sleep is stupid. But as I've gotten older, I realized that my brain needs so much sleep to function correctly. Number 16 is to do it or you will never succeed. Basically what I'm trying to say is if you don't try anything, you're never going to be able to see if you can make it that far. So I think that that's really important, to at least give yourself the chance to be successful. 17 is that life doesn't wait for anybody, and I know that's very cliche to say, but I think life in these last few years have really just passed by so quickly. It made me realize how short it is, so make sure you are doing everything that you want to do, because you might not get this opportunity again. Number 18 is life without intention is not really living. Now this one hit hard for me because I think I was very unintentional in 2025, and I think it really hurt my life. I had no idea what I was doing and no idea who was important to me, but I think going forward now I have a lot more intention with my life. Things are looking a lot more clear. Number 19 is you can't change other people. I know that is a hard pill to swallow, but if you have to keep telling somebody over and over again that something hurts you or that you don't like something and they aren't changing, there is nothing you can do to change that. It might be time for you to walk away. Number 20 is do it scared. Do it scared is so important because I think everybody feels like they're not ready for something, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go and do it. And it sort of ties into what I said before about how if you never do it, you'll never know. So honestly, you just gotta do it scared. 21 is your tastes are going to change, and that's a little bit on myself with consumerism, because I used to think that everything that I liked would never change and I would like the same stuff all the time because I had liked them for years. Honestly, that's not true. Everything is constantly changing in your life and you might like something new. Lesson 22 is letting go is the hardest thing you're ever gonna have to do. And there's gonna be a lot of things you're gonna have to let go of. You're gonna have to let go of your feelings, you're gonna have to let go of people, you're gonna have to let go of things, jobs, everything. I think a lot of us aren't able to accept sometimes when things don't go the way we want it to, but unfortunately there are just things in life that we do have to let go of. Number 23 is if you have a problem, it's probably not only a problem that you have. And that just goes to show that you're not alone in the world and everybody is going through something similar probably. So if you're just feeling like really alone and you feel like I'm the only person in the world that feels this way, just know that you're not. And I don't know, that can be comforting and not comforting at the same time, because you're like, wow, nothing in my life is an experience that only belongs to me. But at the same time, it's nice to know that other people have survived through those experiences too. Number 24 is that a walk outside can change everything. I've noticed that when I get really tired or I'm in a bad mood and I go for a walk in the sun, I feel so much better after the walk. It's not some magical pill, but it has dramatically changed my mood. Number 25 is to keep doing hard things. I think our brain is like a muscle. You have to remind yourself that you're capable of doing hard things all the time, because if you're too comfortable all the time, it's so easy to get in this cycle of not doing anything and not finishing anything because you forget that you can do hard things. So put yourself in the situation where you have to do the harder thing, and I promise you will thank yourself because you will grow. 26 is make sure to do things that make you happy. I think us as a culture thinks a lot about grinding and making money and being rich in the future and like buying a house and everything, and yes, that is great. Those goals are amazing, but don't forget that you're human and there might be things that you want to do that you're not making time for, so make time for the things that matter. Number 27, the last one, love is not enough. I'm sure you've heard that before, but I think you can love somebody so deeply, love people so deeply, and that doesn't mean that your relationship or your friendship can be saved just because you care so greatly for that person. And that's okay. If you stayed for all 27 lessons, I am so grateful, and I hope you learned something. Cheers to another year.